Hi, I am Laura Goff. I am a licensed acupuncturist and a yoga teacher. And today I'm going to be sharing a yoga sequence that I made inspired by Asha. So essentially, it's to inspire hope. And I just wanted to mention too that my yoga tradition happens to be alignment-based yoga in the Gumastad tradition, which is part of the Iyengar tradition as well. And I do recommend if you are going to be joining along with me today that maybe you have a chair or a sofa that you're sitting on. Sofas are great, or even like a dresser or a desk that you could use as a prop today. I'm hoping that you can do this from wherever you are. Yoga mat is not required, but I do recommend either taking off your socks and being barefoot. And if that's not a possibility, keeping your shoes on instead of slipping on any carpeted surfaces. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and have us get started. We're going to come up to a standing position. And what I wanted to mention here is that what we're going to work on to inspire hope here is we're really working on opening up the diaphragm, which separates the lungs from the abdomen. So right in this zone. And in that zone is an acupuncture point called Chirman, which means gate of hope. And I think it's so appropriate that to think about opening this diaphragm, really allowing us to take our biggest breath and both inhalation and exhalation. So we're going to be playing with the breath a little bit here as we get into our yoga today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into Tadasana, which is mountain pose, and we come into it with our feet firmly planted on the earth, our inner edges of our feet together, inner thighs together. And I like to face my palms forward just to give a little bit of opening across the chest here. And then just to reset my palms, keeping my shoulders open. And we're just going to take a couple breaths here as we get into the center of our pose. By the center, I mean that we're feeling balanced on our feet from front to back, that our toes aren't peeling up or we're not lifting our heels up and kind of grasping with our toes. So we're going to come right into the center. And we're just going to be noticing our breath here for a moment. And our breath we do not have to make anything happen. We don't even have to be mindful about it. We can just simply be aware that we're breathing. So taking a couple breaths. And now we're going to be a little bit more active in our legs. Again, really pressing our feet into the floor. And we're going to have our hands, we're going to start to open up our arms. And what I'd like you to imagine doing is that you're inhaling, and as you reach your arms out, you're feeling like you're pressing to the perimeter of a bubble. And as you come up at the shoulder height, you turn your palms up. And I'm going to step back here and lift your arms up overhead. It's okay if they're a little in front of you or not quite next to your ears aren't next to your upper arms. And then as you exhale, you'll be drawing your hands down. So we'll go ahead and do that together several times. So we're going to take an inhalation, feeling the edges of the bubble, turning the palms at shoulder height, really reaching to that perimeter of the bubble. And then as we exhale, drawing our arms back down. I love to think of this as that we're creating a bliss bubble for ourselves so we can be totally present to what's happening. So we have this wonderful protection here of this bubble, and then we can draw our energy back in and down through the body, allowing us to be present. So we're going to go ahead and take one more inhalation, moving our arms, turning the palms at shoulder height, reaching for that bubble. And then go ahead and exhale, drawing the hands down the front of the body one more time. All right. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our chair. And if you are using a chair, I do recommend that it be something like a dining room chair or a fold-up chair, something that's going to stay sturdy. Okay. So if it's a rolly chair, I might recommend that you switch to something that's a little more fixed. That's where a sofa could be really nice too. And my favorite way to be on my chair, if I have a dining room chair available for me, is to sit here. We're going to be doing a chair twist, Bharajavasana, and we're going to be opening up so that we actually bring our hands to the top of our knees here. We want to make sure if we are sitting on a sofa that we perhaps elevate our hips a little bit so that our hips are either level with our knees or slightly above our knees. So we don't want to be kind of sunken in here. So just try to make sure you have a little bit of a lift underneath you. And then we're going to take our hands, we're going to place them on the top of our thighs. And we're going to just gently slide our hands up to the hip crease here and give a little bit of a press here with our hands on our lap. When we do this, we want to press up and feel our breastbone lift up. We don't want to have our shoulders come up to our ears, and we're going to let our shoulder blades just gently glide down our back. And then to come into our twist, we are going to take an inhalation, elongating the spine. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to turn from our waist, about level with your navel. And we're going to start to turn towards our right. So I have the seat back of my chair here at my right. If you're at a sofa, you might just simply be gently moving to your right like this. And when I do this, I actually will put my hand on my right rib cage, so right over that acupoint area that I mentioned. And I might even cross my arm across my lap here and just help give me a gentle twist. I do not try to force this twist. I'm just trying to work with my what my body can do, keeping my breastbones trying to turn to face to my right side. And then when I come back into the breath, I'll inhale, again, elongating the spine. And then exhale, I might deepen this twist even further, really getting into that area that we were just talking about where the diaphragm resides. And then also feeling the back of our shoulder blades pressing into our rib space and our chest space, really increasing our capacity to breathe. And then on our next exhale, we're going to unwind this pose. So we're going to inhale and elongate the spine one more time. And on the exhale, we're going to return slowly back to center. Now we're going to take this and do it to the other side. If you prefer to have the seat back of your chair facing you, that's fine. And again, we want to make sure our feet, our knees, our breastbone, at least at the start, we're all pointing the same direction. And I'm going to show you, moving to my left, I'll show you from the side. So I start with my hands on my lap. I'm going to slide my hands to the top of my thighs, and then I'm going to give a gentle press to lift my breastbone up, elongating my spine. On the next exhale, I'm going to start to turn at that navel level on the exhale. So inhale, elongating the spine. Exhale, starting to turn from the navel, and the twist starts to ascend up the spine, keeping your nose in line with your breastbone until maybe your breastbone's starting to point pretty squarely to your left here. And then you might start to turn your nose ever so slightly, just making sure that you don't feel a strain on your eyes. I'm not letting my shoulders creep up here. I'm just feeling the shoulder blades pressing into the backside of my rib space. And then I have that option again to use my hand across my lap and on my rib cage to help me open and deepen the twist. So we'll go ahead and take one more exhale and inhale. And then on the following exhale, we're going to go ahead and release this twist, gently coming to face center, facing the same direction as our knees. All right, everybody. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our chair that we just used for the chair twist, and we're going to go ahead and begin Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 1, which is a straight leg pose where we lift the leg and we rest it on the chair. What I recommend is that you stand at a wall, or perhaps you have something at your side that you can hold on to for balance, and that you have something that you can safely lift your foot to. So having a little balance here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring our legs back together into Tadasana, and then we're going to be balancing onto our left foot, and we're going to inhale, drawing that right knee up, and then on the exhale, we're going to reach our leg out to our prop. So we're going to stay centered on that base leg, and then we have the opportunity to use our breath one more time, and we're going to use our arms. We're going to come out to our sides. So we're going to inhale, draw the arms up, and then we're going to go ahead and exhale and hold our arms here for just a moment and just enjoy the breath here, feeling our lungs expand and contract, feeling our diaphragm perhaps pushing the air, pushing it down into our organs. And then on the next exhale, we're going to go ahead and draw our arms back down. And on the next exhale after that, we're going to bring our knee back up and bring our foot back to the floor. All right, and then we're going to do the other side. So we're going to go ahead, coming back to our Tadasana, balancing on our feet. We're going to balance to the right side now. And on the next exhale, we're going to lift up our left knee and reach it out to our prop. And we want to make sure we're feeling a stretch on the thigh here, not the back of your knee. And we're going to go ahead and draw our legs, or our legs. We're going to reach our arms back up, feeling that perimeter of the bubble. Once again, we'll inhale, turning the palms at shoulder height. Exhale, we're going to stay here. Again, just taking a couple resting breaths and enjoying both the strength and vitality that we feel from our leg and our feet, and also a softness in the center here that allows our breath to really come into the full capacity of our lungs. And then on the next exhale, let's go ahead and draw our hands back down. And then following with the exhale after, we're going to lift that knee up and bring that foot back to the mat. All right, great. We're going to do a couple poses here that's going to integrate both our arms that we've been doing. We're going to do slightly different variation here. So we're going to come into our Tadasana. We're going to draw our hands together and through Namaskarasana, prayer arms, and we're going to be hinging at our hips right here. And this is where you're going to want to have your chair or your sofa, or perhaps you could do this at a higher piece of furniture if it feels better. So I'm going to show you how the flow goes. So we'll be inhaling, drawing our arms up through the center, exhaling, hinging at our hips. And then we're going to be bringing our hands down to the edge of either the seat of the chair or perhaps your sofa or even the arm of your sofa. And from here, if there's room for you, hopefully, we're going to be taking a step back, coming into plank. I want you to notice that I don't have my shoulders directly over my wrists right here so that I'm not putting a bunch of weight on my wrists. And then when we come from here, we're going to take an exhale, reach into our downward facing dog. And then from here, we're going to take, on the next exhale, we're going to draw our right foot forward, coming into a lunge. And then we're going to take one more opportunity to twist at our diaphragm here to release it even further. And we'll be turning and facing to our right side. Then we'll come back to center, reach our knee back, coming back through plank, coming back through downward facing dog, lifting up that leg, and then stepping through once again into our lunge, and then taking that opportunity to gently twist our torso to our left, coming back to center, and then back in through plank. And then we're just going to go ahead and gently walk back up to that forward fold Uttanasana. And then we're going to come back, inhaling up, reaching for that bubble, exhaling, drawing our hands back in through that prayer pose, Namaskarasana. All right, so we're going to do that all together. So coming into Tadasana, again, balancing on the center of your feet, having your legs strongly placed together for the moment. We're going to inhale, drawing our hands together, reaching up, opening wide and hinging at the hips and coming down so that our hands reach the chair. On the next exhale, we're going to step back into our plank, making sure your shoulders are opened up. They're not right on top of your wrists. And on the next exhale, we're going to reach into downward facing dog, reaching our sit bones away from our hands. On the next exhale, we're going to reach our right knee forward and coming into our lunge. And then one more movement here on this side. We're going to take our right hand, put it to our right rib cage, right over the gate of hope. And we're going to open our breastbone towards the right side. On the next exhale, we're going to come back to face center. And on the next exhale, we're going to reach that knee back up, reaching back in through downward facing dog, and then into the left side. So we're going to reach that left knee forward, stepping forward on the left. And then we're going to come into that gentle twist on the next exhale, coming back to center. Inhale and exhale, reaching that leg back, reaching our sit bones away from the chair, coming back through plank. And then we're going to gently step forward until we get that nice kind of tabletop shape. And we're going to bring our hands back up to the side, reaching on the inhale, coming back together, the hands together and back in through that prayer shape, Namaskarasana. And that's our flow here. And now we're going to do just one more pose to help you find a little bit of rest and rejuvenation as you head into the conference. So we're going to be doing simple legs on the chair or legs on the sofa works really well. If you have a door or wall, that's fine too. I'm just going to adjust my camera so you can see just a little bit better here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be coming down to the floor here, resting on my side, and I'm going to roll onto my back and lift my legs onto the seat of the chair. We're just going to take a couple moments here, coming into our center, and allow all that movement and work here to help us feel recharged, regenerated, open to the possibilities. Feeling the energy of our bliss bubble, keeping us supported, allowing us to be present. And I'll give you just a couple moments of silence here to enjoy the last couple moments of our time together. And now we're going to gently slide our heels and our knees towards our chest here, bringing our knees maybe even closer to our chest so we can gently roll back to our side and come up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope you have an amazing conference and that this movement practice stays with you throughout your day, throughout the conference, and even beyond is something that can support you in inspiring hope. Thank you.